What is up, everybody? Black Dragon Squad here, coming to you for another YouTube Yu-Gi-Oh! Review video. Today I'm going to be showing you my Malefic deck profile. I haven't really been working on it too much because, you know, there's a million decks I'm trying to build. All kinds of different things I'm doing. And the deck used to be, like I had it pure Malefics where I, had one of each one in there. And I wanted to try and make it, obviously I made it up to date to as much as possible. And I wanted to do this review video before the Malefic support comes out in TCG, because at some point it should be. At least that's what I'm aiming for before I start playing Malefics again. But I wanted to show you what the deck has. I've been wanting for, a similar base. I mean, it's changed throughout many years. I've been playing this deck since probably 2014, the beginning I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. This was the first deck I started building, and I had many different forms of it throughout the past, but as to what I've got right now, I wanted to show you as to what I want right now. And like I said, I used to have one of each Malefic in there, and it's kind of changed because I wanted to add more Malefic Cyber Ends and more Rainbows and all that other stuff. And some guy recommended Man-Eater Bug, and I threw that in there to test it out a little bit. And to be honest, I forget what card was in there before Man-Eater Bug, but Man-Eater Bug is okay, but it doesn't really do it for my Malefic deck, at least that I have, and it's still kind of in there, so it's just kind of sitting in there. I've never really touched it ever since I added that in there just to play around with it, but as of what I have, I just want to show you what I've been playing before the Malefic support comes out, because when that support comes out, I'm going to be playing them again. The deck is going to change, and I'm gonna be starting playing Malefics again. And so the deck's never going to be the same when the support comes out. So as to what I wanted to show you now, and to talk about some of the stuff of rumors that people used to believe in the past and everything, which is how I used to play this, but not anymore, because that's not really how things work. So I'm going to discuss all that in this video, but let's get into it. Alright, everybody, so here's my Malefic deck. So here I kind of just, have the 2019 World Championship Field Center in here. I kind of had this deck sitting around me when that was taking place. This is kind of my side deck of things I just kind of threw around. I have this extra Rainbow Dragon because I'm still looking for that one extra Rainbow, Malefic Rainbow, to replace the Blue Eyes White Dragon with currently in the deck. I had Mystic Plasma Zone as to one of the alternative field spells. I used to want many different field spells. Before a lot of other ones even came out, like Mystic Mind and stuff, I was always playing this. The Red Eyes, that I ended up taking out. I had Solomon's Wishes in there that I was playing, and it actually was kind of helping me a lot with my light point issues. Lightning Vortex just to remove my opponent's board, and this was in here, for many years, and this was even in here before the Ghost of Targus came out, because Wageki was always expensive, and this was just that one card. Also, it would discard, so at the time when I was playing it, if you had that annoying Red Eyes or Blue Eyes in your hand, you can use it as a discard alternative, or Malefic True Dragon, because its effects also work out of graveyard, Yumi's Ship, just as a card to destroy my opponent's monster. Shadow and Punishing Mirror, and a Field Barrier. I'll get into those as to why, why they're in the deck or what they do. Obviously, there's 2 on the side because I would be wanting 3 of them each otherwise, which I believe I don't have. I believe I have 2 of each one in the deck. So here, as far as my extra deck, I'm gonna get my extra deck out of the way. I didn't really sort this out. I just kind of wanted to make this quick to get out of there. I have some random extra deck monsters for absolutely no reason sitting in here, just for Man-Eater Bug's effect for when I was just testing it out. Like that. and this guy. I would say though, if you were gonna do this and one man-eater buck, at least throw the use all the Cyber Dragon monsters like Fortress and Mega Fleet, because at least then if you're playing against Cyber Dragon, you can actually make those useful for yourself. As far as the actual monsters you use out of your extra deck, I was always, like I said originally, I was wanting one of each, so I was always wanting one of this and one Malefic Parallel Gear, but I'm actually wanting 2 Malefic Paradox Dragons, and the glare on this is kind of bad. 2 Malefic Paradox Dragons, 2 Stardust Dragon, 2 Cyber End Dragons, and then the one, I can never say its name, but it's Dragotis Corrupted Neither Soul Dragon, something very similar like that. You can see the name right there in the camera. This is the only other single monster that I've played for many years that I had discovered it. I think I've been using this at least since 2016, maybe even before that. I just remember playing this thing a long time ago, because I discovered this, and when I discovered it, I knew this had to go into a Malefic deck, because everything about it is supposed to be Malefic, even though it's not actually a Malefic monster. It's got even high attack and stuff. 1 dog tuna plus 1 non-tuna dragon type monster. So if you were to use Malefic Parallel Gear with any Blue Eyes or Stardust Dragon in your hand, because those are the only ones you can single summon. By the way, somebody a long time ago was negating Malefic Parallel Gear's effect because it's saying that it's tuna, a single thing, is an effect, when in the text it states that Parallel Gear, even though that its requirement is to single summon out of the hand, it is not an effect. It does not have the effect symbols on it, and the requirement is for Parallel Gear is that you must single summon out of your hand. So your opponent cannot negate or stop the single summoning out of your hand if you were trying to use Parallel Gear to single summon out of your hand. Unless if they were to chain it to destroy or whatever, as a quick effect, but they cannot simply do what is a negate effect on Parallel Gear, because it does not have one. The single summon is a requirement, it is not an effect. And I found that really annoying that that guy called me out on it, and that, people actually went with that, and it was it lost me a tournament because of that. It was the most annoyingest thing ever. And I found this out officially. It is not an effect, it's a requirement, which I will show you when I pull him out. But anyway, this guy cannot be destroyed by battle, and he can attack up to monsters twice, and he also inflicts burning damage. This guy is really good for a Malefic deck. And so if you were to play Malefics, the 2 extra deck monsters you will be using will be Paradox and this guy, at least, besides the links and stuff when you throw that stuff in there. So really, that's the extra deck. And like I said, my main deck is kind of disorganized. I didn't really organize it, but I'm just pulled this out because it was kind of stored away, and I just kind of pulled it out because I want to do a review on it. So I'm going to split it up here. Play Mystic Mine, Mirror Force, the 1 Skill Drain, Field Barrier. I'm going to pull out all the spells and traps. Summon Limit. That's a newer card that has actually worked for me. Allure of Darkness is something I threw in there within the past year and stuff. So I had to add, I did touch this when the ban list came out because I was wanting 2 terraformings and everything, and I had to throw Metaphors in there because of the terraforming issue, which really, it didn't really bother me too much, considering the fact that, they just kind of limit each one to 1, because in reality, I had only 2 in there, and I was only doing that. I wasn't doing really any such things, because I just always was playing a lot of I was playing a lot of field spells and stuff, because a lot of things just work with Malefics, believe it or not. A lot of field spells and random humbo jumbo stuff just work in general with Malefics. So here I got my stuff organized, and I'm gonna go through it. So actually, I only have one Shadow Punishing Mirror in here, and there's a reason why I normally actually remember always playing 2, but apparently this one I did something to put it down to 1. So for my spells, I got 2 Malefic Worlds, because you want to be able to have different options of field spells, because you want to have many of them, because you don't want to not be able to have field spells on the board to get your Malefics and stuff out. And I feel like this, messing around with this and changing a few things when the new support comes out, and having a lot of field spells like this is actually going to help a lot, considering the fact that one of the new cards allows you to add or control more than just one Malefic monster. 2 Allure of Darknesses to allow you to search. I threw in 3 Mystic Minds. I was not playing 3. I was only playing 1 for a while, because like literally I didn't want this to be a Mystic Mind deck, but it was just working out so well for me to get my plays off. And because this deck revolves around field spells, and this deck in general, as of right now, I only ever really control 1 Malefic monster. And this deck, I've actually controlled a lot of low-level monsters. Not that I think I have too many anymore, but I did, and it worked, because there's another field spell in here that I used to use that for. But anyway, this, I mean, it's just worked. It really has worked for me quite a lot. So I have all those, and then I got 1 Dragon's Ravine. You have this, so you can just send, like, discard any card and at all that's just a brick, if anything. And this way you can just send True Dragon from the deck to the graveyard, so you can get access to it in special summoning by paying half your life points, and just have that, so that way you have Malefic True Dragon ready. Terraforming, you know the reason why. Search out a field spell. 2 field barriers to protect your field spell, and I think I might have taken out a Shadow Punishing Mirror, because I didn't have this in my deck for a while, but I remember I used to play this at the very beginning of my days of Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long time, just because everybody was destroying my field spells, so I couldn't control my monsters, and that was a problem. So I used to always play this, and you do play this, and you play this with Mystic Mind. If your opponent tries to Twin Twister your Mystic Mind and this, he cannot destroy the Mystic Mind, because this protects your field spells from being destroyed. So it cannot be double destroyed within the same chain. So he can target the Mystic Mind, but it's not going to destroy the Mystic Mind, because technically this and this are on the field at the same time as you're destroying them both at the same time. And because it's currently in the field at the same time of the chain, this will go and Mystic Mind can't, because this is still blocking that from being destroyed. So your opponent would have to do like a separate chain, to where like he activates like a double MST, and then target the Mystic Mind first, and then activate another one to target this first, then this will disappear, then the second chain would happen, which the Mystic Mind will go, but he cannot Twin Twister it. So if you are a Mystic Mind player, you definitely want Field Barrier. It's just a great generic card, and I thought about this, myself, and then I ended up seeing people doing it in the World Championship, and I was like, well, other people thought about the same thing I did. So, I mean, it is very, sorry, I kind of got a little cold, but it is a very simple thing to know. This card right here, Mound of the Bound Creator, it is a good card to get to your opponent's life points, because if you control a level 10 higher monster, Paradox Dragon, the other single guy, Malefic Cyber End Dragon, and Malefic Rainbow Dragon, this card will protect them from being targeted or destroyed by card effects. Also, if a level 10 or higher monster on the field battle sends the monster to the graveyard, to the controller who got it destroyed, takes 1,000 points of damage. So this is here to protect and to work with your high level Malefic monsters. Seal Void Calgos. This is in here. Now, obviously, when you play this, you cannot use your extra deck, which you do not have much of an extra deck to use anyway. And this gives your monsters 500 attack each. Once per turn, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects, so it protects itself basically, so it's a good field spell to protect itself. While you control 2 or more monsters, the monster with the lowest attack, which when you're playing Malefics, Malefic monster is like this deck. Like, you know how Malefics revolve around themselves, where it's like the only monster you can attack with, it's the only Malefic monster you control. This deck is revolving around using your Malefic monsters to your advantage. So while you can only have the one Malefic monster, most likely you're going to want to have the triple Cyber End Dragons or whatever. They're going to be high level monsters. And if you have those low level monsters, you know, it's gonna have it where your low level monster cannot be attacked or whatever before your opponent destroys the Malefic Truth Dragon or whoever first. So that's how that's just a really great way to play the Malefics. And you know, you only want to one up because you can only use the card once per duel. So that is that. And then next we have, for the traps, 3 Malefic Claw Streams. Just a generic destroy monsters card, because you don't want too many monsters. You have the normal summons, so in order to destroy your opponent's creatures and stuff, to try to get to the life point stuff, 3 Malefic Claw Stream. Your Mirror Force, because you know, why not? I don't know why this stuff just happens to work. Not that this deck, it's not competitive. This deck is not competitive. It's not crazy. I tried it out in the tournament. I know this. It loses, but it's just a, you know, it's just a deck that if you want it, you can have it to play with. Dimensional Guardian, so you can still burn, well, not burn, but deal your opponent damage and protect whichever monster you want to target, just to give yourself protection, because if it's not your Malefic, you want to target this on a low monster, like something in what, you know, you want to have it in attack position first, but next turn if you have it, just make sure you switch it to defense. Meta first, search out field spells because it's limited to 1. Shadow and Punishing Mirror. Now this is your second alternative to Skill Drain. Way back in the day, when people, well, here's Skill Drain, so you know what that does. It negates the effects of all monsters on the field, so I'm going to set that aside. Remember, this costs 1,000 life points though, so beware of that. But this card, back then, when people played Skill Drain, they used to think that this negated, which it does, it negates Malefic monsters' effects. So, with this on the field, or this, because it does the same thing, and I used to play these at 3 for the reason, because even if my opponent was playing a dark deck, that's good, because then it negated their monsters' effects. But even if not, it still negated my Malefic effects, which is what I wanted to do, because back in the day, people used to think that this allowed you to control more than one Malefic monster, which was not the case. Apparently, which it doesn't make sense, but here's how it is. Everything about the Malefic card is the effect, except the fact that it only allows you to control one Malefic monster, because that is another thing that is known as a requirement and not an effect. So everything else about the Malefic monster, where you can only attack with him, is negated, and where you need a field spell to control him on the board is negated. So if you have this or this, you're only allowed to control one Malefic monster, but you do not need a field spell to have it on the board, and you can also attack with your other monsters rather than just the Malefic monster. So these cards, will still be really good, I feel like, depending on where the game kind of turns as far as the Malefic support. I mean, they've been out in OCG for a while. You know, they came out at the same time as Red Eyes Alternative and stuff did, and we have not seen them. But I'm hoping, and I feel like they'll come out soon. So, I don't know when that is. If you guys know when that is, because I can't find anything, any information on it. If you know when it is, leave a comment in the description below, because it would definitely be nice if you guys can let me know. But that's the whole meaning behind these cards and negating your Malefic Monsters effects. This was an alternative to this, and you could play 3 of these and at a free cost. So it wasn't really that bad if I moved back in the day. And then, you know, summon limit, your opponent cannot no more special summon more than twice per turn. And then, while refilling light, to sacrifice your light points, when this card actually used to be really, really good. And it still is, because it still sometimes helps me block my opponents from attacking me for quite some time. You know, you pay X amount of light points, and this card is the wall for those monsters with that much attack or less. They have to attack with something, let's say 5,000, higher than 5,000 if you sacrifice 5,000 light points. So got a Man-Eater Bug, I got a Marshmallow, which I've always been seeing this guy in play, and he's actually helped me win the duels. Malefic Parallel Gear, the Rainbow Dragon, Ice Hand. These are all just destroy or help me block my opponent. Pangoceratops to destroy any card. Malefic Rainbow Dragon, Malefic Stardust Dragon, Fire Hand to go with your Ice Hand, Malefic Cyber End Dragon, Malefic Blue Eyes White Dragon, soon to be just Rainbow Dragon, because that's what I want to do. Another Fire Hand, another Malefic Stardust Dragon, the Blue Eyes White Dragon, Exploder Dragon, which I really do not think is the right card. I honestly would do more Ice Hand and Fire Hand, I just never ended up grabbing them. Malefic True Dragon, another Ice Hand to go with your other Fire Hand, and the second Malefic Cyber End Dragon. So that's just probably pretty simple. Like I said, this deck had a lot more destroy monsters and just like old-fashioned stuff, but I've been trying to change it and up-to-date it a little bit to try to make it more up-to-date as to what I can do as far as what a good Malefic deck would be, for what it can be, and especially until the new support comes out. So that's going to be it for this video. I'm sorry for dragging it on too long, but this is a thing I've been, this is my very first deck attribute I started off with doing in tournaments. I've been dueling a lot of people, many different people, before I even started doing tournaments, from school and everything, dude. Like, those are so many people I played against. But when I first started officially playing competitive, it was this, which was back in like early 2014. So, but that was a long time ago, and times are changing. That was even before Pendulums. So, as of right now, I am definitely looking forward to seeing where this goes in the future. So please like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Alright, peace.